Luxury brands are controlling you. What if the things you desire the most were never truly your own ideas? That luxury bag you keep thinking about, that watch you've convinced yourself you need, that lifestyle you keep imagining every time you scroll. It feels personal, it feels like choice. But what if it's not? What if luxury brands aren't just selling products, but quietly shaping your thoughts, your desires, and even your definition of success? Because the truth is, you don't just buy luxury, you're trained to want it. The real game. Most people believe their preferences come from within, that what they like is based on personality, taste, or lifestyle. But in reality, those preferences are often influenced long before a purchase ever happens. Luxury brands don't wait for people to want their products. They create the want. They study human behavior in detail, what attracts attention, what triggers desire, what makes people feel important. They understand that people don't just buy things, they buy meaning, identity, and emotion. So instead of simply designing products, they design entire systems of influence. Through advertising, storytelling, and constant exposure, they plant ideas in your mind. Slowly, those ideas grow. What once seemed unnecessary starts to feel desirable. What once felt out of reach begins to feel like something you should aim for. And before you realize it, you're no longer just observing luxury, you're chasing it. The power of perception. Luxury is not built on function, it's built on perception. A handbag can carry items at any price point. A watch can tell time whether it costs $20 or $20,000. So the value of luxury cannot be explained by utility alone. Instead, luxury brands create meaning. They position their products as symbols of success, achievement, and refinement. They build an image where owning their product equals reaching a certain level in life. Over time, this perception becomes deeply rooted. You stop seeing a luxury item as just an object. You begin to see it as a milestone, something that proves you've made progress. Something that validates your effort and success. And once that connection is made, desire becomes almost automatic. Social proof. One of the strongest psychological tools luxury brands use is social proof. Take a moment to notice where luxury products appear most often. On celebrities, on influencers, on people who seem successful, confident, and admired. This is not coincidence. Luxury brands carefully place their products in environments where they will be associated with status and aspiration. When you repeatedly see successful individuals using certain products, your brain creates a link. If they have it, and they're successful, then this must be part of that success. This connection happens subconsciously. You don't just want the item, you want the lifestyle attached to it. And that's where the real influence begins. Limited access. Luxury brands don't aim to sell to everyone. In fact, they intentionally limit access. They create waiting lists. They release limited editions. They restrict availability to select customers. At first, this seems like a disadvantage for the buyer, but psychologically, it has the opposite effect. Scarcity increases value. When something is hard to obtain, it feels more important. The effort required to get it adds to its perceived worth. And when you finally manage to acquire it, the satisfaction is far greater. It doesn't feel like a simple purchase. It feels like an achievement. Luxury brands understand this deeply. That's why they don't just sell products, they create barriers. Because those barriers increase desire. Price as a signal. In most industries, price is something to minimize. People look for deals, discounts, and affordability. But in luxury, price works differently. Higher prices don't reduce demand. They increase it. Because price itself becomes part of the product. A high price signals exclusivity. It tells the buyer that this item is not meant for everyone. It suggests quality, rarity, and prestige, even if the actual difference in production cost is minimal. Over time, this changes how people think. They stop asking, "Why is this so expensive?" and start thinking, "This must be worth it." Luxury brands don't just charge more. They use price to shape perception. Emotional attachment. Luxury brands are not selling objects. They are selling emotions, confidence, pride, recognition. When someone buys a luxury item, the satisfaction goes far beyond ownership. It comes from how that item makes them feel. More accomplished, more respected, more aligned with the image they have of success. These emotions are powerful because once a product is connected to a feeling, it becomes much harder to resist. Logic fades into the background and emotion takes over. The purchase is no longer about need, it's about identity. The identity trap. At a certain point, luxury stops being something you buy occasionally. It becomes part of who you are. You start to associate yourself with certain brands. I wear this. I use this. This represents me. This is where the influence becomes deepest. Because once a brand becomes part of your identity, stepping away from it feels like losing a part of yourself. You're no longer choosing the brand. You feel like the brand reflects you. And that's where control becomes invisible. The role of constant exposure. Luxury is no longer rare in visibility. It's everywhere. Social media platforms constantly showcase luxury lifestyles. Influencers display high-end items daily. Celebrities normalize extravagant purchases. This constant exposure changes perception. What once felt extreme starts to feel normal. What once seemed unnecessary starts to feel expected. Over time, your baseline shifts. You don't question luxury anymore. You start to see it as part of a desirable lifestyle, and the more you see it, the more you want it. Why it works so well. Luxury brands don't force you to buy. They don't pressure you directly. Instead, they guide you. They influence your environment. They shape your perception. They align their products with your desires. And the most powerful part? It feels natural. It feels like your own decision. That's why it works so well. Because true influence doesn't feel like control. It feels like choice. Breaking the illusion. Understanding this doesn't mean luxury is bad. And it doesn't mean you should avoid it completely. But it does mean you should be aware. Because awareness changes everything. When you understand how desire is created, you start to question it. Do I actually want this? Or was I influenced to want it? Am I buying value? Or am I buying perception? This shift in thinking gives you control again. It allows you to make decisions based on clarity, not conditioning. A deeper layer of control. There's another layer most people don't even notice. Luxury brands don't just influence what you buy, they influence when you feel ready to buy. They subtly create timelines in your mind. Once I succeed, I'll get this. Once I earn more, I deserve that. This ties luxury to your sense of progress. So every achievement starts to feel incomplete without a reward. And that reward is often something they're selling. This creates a loop. Work harder, achieve more, buy luxury, feel validated, repeat. It feels like motivation. But it's also control. A different way to see luxury. Once you step back, you realize that luxury is not just about products, it's about psychology. It's about shaping how people think, feel, and define success. And when you understand that, you can engage with it differently. You can still appreciate luxury, but you're no longer driven by it. You choose it, on your own terms. Luxury brands aren't just selling items. They're shaping your desires, your goals, your perception of success. And the real power isn't in what they sell. It's in what they make you believe. Because once perception is influenced, everything else follows. If this changed the way you see luxury and influence, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss out on any of our upcoming videos. See you next time.